So hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. In this video I'm going to be looking at 12 Amiga games and wondering, have you played these games? Without further ado, let's get started with the video. Okay guys, so this is something of a follow-up video to one I've done previously. It was about 20 games that you must play on your A500 Mini. Now rather than saying you must play them, I'm asking, have you actually played these games? They're basically 12 games that I've been going through the sort of collections here and there and found these are really good fun games to play and wondering, has everyone else played them? Without further ado, let's get started with the first game. Okay guys, so the first game we're going to be playing is an arcade conversion called Saint Dragon. Now I'm not a huge sort of shoot 'em up fan, but I really enjoyed playing through this one, and I actually found and thought that it's actually more fun to play than the arcade version itself, and this is actually a really good arcade conversion. It's really good fun. I found myself lasting a heck of a lot longer than I do in the arcade version, that's for sure. Now, obviously guys, I'm not a huge fan of this genre at all, but I found myself to really enjoy this one. It's pretty addictive once you get started, and obviously it's not quite as difficult as the arcade version itself, so therefore it's a little bit more fun to actually play. And I found myself getting a little bit further even onto the second level, which I just struggled like crazy at times on that arcade version. But yeah, it's really good fun. I'd highly recommend this game. If you love your shooters, you are really going to enjoy this one. Okay guys, next game is Seek and Destroy, which kind of reminds me a little bit like a kind of a Jungle Strike style game. Pretty simple, straightforward premise. Seek out the enemy, destroy, and return to base. You can see in the radar in sort of middle, I think you're basically heading towards the enemy here. Take them out, get back to base. Pretty simple idea, but yeah, it is super addictive. First level's pretty straightforward. But yeah, it's such great fun, and obviously you can tell it's got that kind of a Jungle Strike, Desert Strike sort of vibes. I'm pretty sure this probably came before that, but anyway, this is really good fun. I found myself really enjoying it. I found it a little bit tricky to negotiate the actual radar a little bit, but once you get your head around it, such a great game. Really enjoyed it. Okay guys, next game is Shadow Dancer, which is another arcade conversion. Amazingly, I didn't think the Amiga was renowned for having great arcade conversions, but I found a few in this video that are actually really good and pretty close to the arcade originals. And this is probably one of them. That, you know, graphically it's very good. The gameplay is brilliant as well. It is really difficult right enough. You obviously sort of need to go through this level, defuse the bombs, don't die. Yeah, so it is brutally difficult, unfortunately, but which is obviously similar to the arcade version. But for some reason, I really always enjoyed playing through this game. There was something kind of addictive about it that I always enjoyed, even though it was brutally difficult. I don't ever remember getting that far in the arcade game. Probably completed the first level and that would be it, which is understandable because it is so tricky to actually play through. It's kind of got that sort of addictiveness that you kind of will want to play through it and enjoy it. You need to beware and don't hit that fire, it's horrible, look at that. How do you avoid it? Okay guys, next game on the list, we're going to be playing Shadow of the Beast 3. Now I wasn't really a great fan of the Shadow of the Beast series. Never really liked the first or second one that much. I just thought it was a little bit boring to play. But I really enjoyed playing through the third one. It is completely different in style. It seems to be a lot more playable than the original and the second one. Okay, Shadow of the Beast 3. It certainly seems more advanced than some of the other games in the series. It seems really, really good. There's sort of multiple scrolling in the background too. But it's still got that hugely difficult level. But yeah, you've got a health bar which kind of a help rather than being a one-hit kill scenario. I said I've not really been a huge fan of the series at all, but I always really enjoyed this one. Definitely like this style of game, this sort of platformer style. Always going to be one of my favourite genres to actually play through. Ah! These guys want to completely destroy me here, don't they? Oh, what's this? Not going to last much longer here playing like this, am I? Oh, there's another key. Oh, that looks like instant death, doesn't it? Shall we do it? Ah! I never thought that would have happened. Okay guys, next game we're going to play is Silkworm. Which, shocker, it's another shoot 'em up. But it's such a cracking shoot 'em up. So much happening. Really had to put this one in here. Now, I'm not really sure if this was originally an arcade game. Something sort of tells me it actually was. But it's very addictive. I really like it. I know I'm all saying I'm not a huge fan of these type of games, but when they're really decent, then I can definitely forgive them when it's not too difficult. Except I always die quite a lot. But I can appreciate that there are some great examples of shooters out there, and I really think this is brilliant. It definitely feels like it's probably an arcade conversion again. I'm just not very good at these games. I think that's why I don't enjoy them as much, because I'm just not particularly great at them. But I can appreciate that these games have a lot going for them. I really enjoy it. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're a shoot 'em up fan. Yeah, we're going to be playing Space Crusade, so we are completely switching up the genres here. I'm playing a kind of a strategy style game called Space Crusade. And yeah, you will have to utilise the mouse quite a lot for this game. And there's different sort of types of missions you can do: seek and destroy, eliminate and survive. You basically control a team of Space Crusaders, and you're really just going through taking out the enemies and doing some mission stuff. I really enjoyed it, to be honest. This is one of the games I played back in the day, probably more so on the Commodore 64, and it was really quite addictive and a lot of fun. Okay, so you start with your team. You've got some different options at the bottom to actually do, and you've got seek and destroy, I think this one is. So once you choose your character, you can then utilise them and move him using this button here. And you've got certain squares that you can actually move to. So each character can only move a certain amount of squares, and obviously each character does have different attributes that they can actually do. And then also it's kind of a turn-based strategy style game, and you know, I really quite enjoyed it. It's one of those games that you can sort of take your time, get through it, and yeah, you definitely need to use the mouse to play through this game. And it's great fun. I know it doesn't really look very exciting, but yeah, I really quite enjoyed it. You've got a kind of a 3D style view as well, which you can sort of change between using this button, which is kind of cool. Kind of adds a little bit of depth to it, I guess. It's kind of makes more sense when you see the actual enemies, but it's really good fun. Obviously, scroll through and see there's some enemies here that we probably will have to take out. So let's move our guy here. Oh no! Oh yeah, you need to sort of change over to the next team. And you need to get so many points to get to the next level. So we're in kind of fighting range here. This guy's going to try and take me out. Okay, so now we can take our turn and take him out. It automatically switches to the 3D view when it's doing the sort of fighting element of it. So guys, obviously these were originally based on board games, and if you remember playing them, then you'll probably get a lot more out of it than most people will. But yeah, it does look kind of a boring, but once you actually get your teeth stuck into it, it's actually quite good fun. And it's a different sort of style of game than many other sort of titles out there, and it sort of breaks up the sort of shooters and platformers out there. And Amiga had loads of these type of strategy games, and obviously you had that mouse, it makes it a perfect combination. Okay guys, amazingly I think I've got another arcade conversion here, and it's in the shape of Space Gun. It's a on the rails sort of shooter, and it's really decent. It's one of those arcade conversions that I think Amiga has definitely nailed. I definitely remember playing this in the arcades at the time, and it was great fun. It obviously caught your eye with the sort of huge aliens and the graphics, the gore, and this is pretty good. It is still pretty tricky and hard, but yeah, it's very good. It's actually a great little game, I really enjoy it. Kind of a no-brainer, to be honest, type of game, just sort of point and shoot. But it does become quite exciting, quite addictive. Maybe it's not quite arcade perfect, I guess, but it's a decent enough conversion, and it's very enjoyable to actually play through. Okay guys, the next game we're going to be playing is Quick the Thunder Rabbit. What a name. Yes. So it's a kind of a platformer style game. One of my favourite sort of genres to actually play. I'm not sure it's sort of sounding particularly amazing. I'm not sure if that's how it sounded back in the day or what, but yeah, it does sound a little bit iffy, as if the emulation isn't quite there. Sort of speed issues, I guess. It's quite a good challenge. It's nice and colourful. This is obviously the advanced graphics version. Oh yeah, we can now go super fast. You can obviously click the carrots to get your health up, obviously. Whoa. I died from the lack of water, of course I did. Okay, it's Super Squeak. I'm sort of switching up the game style a little bit again, and this is a kind of a puzzle style game. Let's go. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Yep, the very first one. Oh yeah, you basically need to walk over all the tiles and turn them pink. Sounds pretty simple, but it's actually great fun. Kind of a puzzle style game, I guess, but not a heck of a lot of puzzle elements to it. But it is kind of enjoyable, and sort of changes up the sort of genre style a little bit too. I think that's what's best about Amiga. There's a lot of variety out there, and a lot of games to discover. There's a lot of stuff that you probably haven't played or never played. So there's quite a lot of enemies here that you need to avoid, but you can actually obviously use your fire power to actually take them out. Oh, that was nice. There's quite a lot going on here. Oh, I got trapped. Certainly a lot to love, and it's certainly just that little bit different to a lot of the other sort of titles out there. Certainly a lot different to some of the games I've included in this video, that's for sure. Anyway guys, let's move on to the next game. Okay guys, now we're playing Switchblade, one of my all-time favourites, and this Amiga version is probably one of the best versions that was made. It's absolutely brilliant, it's got an absolutely banging soundtrack, very addictive platforming game. You need to find all those sword pieces and sort of traverse your way through the levels. Okay guys, as you can hear, it has got one of the best soundtracks in any games, absolutely fantastic. It's not got the greatest combat, to be honest. It's really just a matter of holding down that button. Obviously you hold it down a little bit, you just punch. And the more you hold it down, the more options you have. As you can see, I hold it into the middle or the bottom, that's the most firepower, and you just do this kind of a sweeping leg thing. It's a bit weird. But yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about the game. The combat is absolutely shockingly awful. The graphics are shockingly awful too. You kind of think, why do I like this game so much? Very bizarre. I think I just enjoyed the actual searching element, trying to find all the sword pieces and then get to the end to defeat Havoc. It's amazingly addictive, really loved it. So guys, this is such a challenging game. I'd recommend it if you love your platforming sort of style games. Obviously the graphics aren't particularly amazing, but it's all about the gameplay, I guess, and sort of finding those sword pieces. It's definitely a great little challenge. I absolutely love this game. So once you actually get used to the combat, it definitely makes a huge difference. It does take a little bit getting used to because it is very strange, that combat. Oh yeah, and deeply satisfying when you finally do find a sword piece. But yeah, it's always in a place where you can't actually reach. So you need to sort of jump from one screen to the other to actually get that sword piece, which is kind of a strange. But yeah, let's try this. Yay! And there we go, the first sword piece from the game. I can't remember how many there is to find. I think it's about maybe 12 pieces, and they're scattered all over the sort of the world, and you will probably end up going back and forth numerous times. It's a very rewarding game. Absolutely loved it. Highly recommended. Okay guys, here we have Traps and Treasures. So I don't know why I like this game, but it's kind of quirky. You're sort of a pirate, you can actually go under into the water underground and sort of find some of the treasure. So you need to survive to get to the island, I guess. It's kind of quirky little title. It's definitely a little bit different. I'm not really sure how you'd actually describe this game at all. It's a kind of a platformy game or a, I don't know, role-playing game. I do not know. It's kind of a quirky, very different. Ooh. There's really a lot to sort of discover. You can go right under here, find some of the treasures, but yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to hurt you down here, and you will probably die. But I love the graphics in this, they're really nice and colourful. Oh, you need to rescue some of your friends by the looks of it. Not sure how to. Do I need a key? It looks like I probably do. It's probably underneath the water, no my luck. There's a shop. Of course there's a shop. Oh yeah, I die quite a lot in this game. Kind of quirky little game, guys. Definitely one worth playing though. A little hidden gem there. Okay guys, last game on the list is Wacky Races. And you're probably wondering, what the heck is this doing here? And I probably don't know why either, because it's not really an amazing game. But I really enjoyed playing this back in the day. Obviously it's based on the TV show of the same name with Dastardly and Muttley. So if you're old enough to remember that, you will probably get a lot more out of this game. It's got great colourful graphics. You're obviously in a race against all the other competitors. It's pretty linear. You've got some jumping platforms to negotiate. You've got some something in the front of your motor car that you can destroy the other competitors and things that you come across, such as that. And you know, I found it to be really, really addictive stuff. I know it's a bit of a strange one, but it's actually good fun to play. Obviously, the levels themselves are the same every time, so you really have to memorise those layouts to actually make progress to the end of the level. Because obviously there are a lot of dead ends in the game, and it does make a difference, so you need to memorise them, and it's going to be a lot of trial and error as you go through it. But yeah, it's a great looking little game. Not a heck of a lot going on in music, I guess, but you know, I really enjoyed it, and I did enjoy watching Dastardly and Muttley when I was younger, so it was quite good to actually play through this. Always enjoyed it. Never particularly amazing at it, but yeah, I have won the first race a few times and got to the second stage. But it's definitely a challenge. It's all about memorising what's coming up, because it's always the same every single time. So you can probably just use your memory and you will probably start to make progress as you go. Helpful arrows that show you have to jump or go down. Anyway guys, that's my picks of 12 games. Have you actually played these games? Please let me know in the description what you think. Have you played them? Are there other games that you think I should include in future videos? Let me know, because there's probably plenty of games out there that I've never played personally that I should probably make a video about. Please let me know. I'm really intrigued, because there's so many games out there that it's impossible to actually play through every single game and sort of know every single game. So guys, thanks for watching the video today. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.